Hi. Yeah, during today's office hour, and some student asked me a question about how to draw a state diagram. I know that in our week 10, I show you these diagrams. I show you that we have this class diagram, and then we should be able to generate a state diagram out of this class diagram. But I didn't show you that how to use Enterprise Architect to do that. So I'm going to take this extra hour to record this video, show you how to draw the state diagram from the class diagram. Okay, so let's move this away, and I will how this works. Okay, I move this away and move you the Enterprise Architect. So this is a class diagram. Then how can I draw a state diagram from this class diagram? So what you need to do is you don't have to create a separate state diagram view because all state diagram is attached to one class diagram. Then you can just add the state diagram to the class diagram. And how we do that? So suppose this is a class diagram. I have this this two button watch has this class. To attach a state diagram to this class, I just find this class. This is two button watch is the class. I right click on it, and then you can choose this add. And then you add a state diagram. So this state diagram is specifically added to this class, two button watch. So here I can just give a name of the state diagram called like the change time. Okay, change time. Then you'll see that is okay. This window pop up on the left hand side of the toolbox. Then you can draw the state. So usually the initial state is always the initial. So you just drag this initial here. Then here for the initial state, you don't have to give a name. And then the next state is the blink hour. Okay, so I just drag this arrow down here. I choose a state. And this state is called blink hours. Blink hours. Okay, so all state is related to one or more attribute. So in here, I have hour, minutes, and the second attribute. So this blinking hour shows that the hour integer is about to change. So then how can I describe this hour? How can I add this hour attribute into this state? So you can just right click on the state and go to the advanced. Not advanced. Go to the feature and the property. Okay, go to the feature. Go to the feature, and then you add a new feature here. And this feature is hours. So this hours type is integer. Okay. So this hours is come from here. Then I know that this blinking hour, this state is attached to this hour attribute. And then the transition from blinking hour to a new state is called increment hours. Increment hours. So the transition is an event. So according to our state diagram, you can go back to my PDF. You will see that this one button 2 is pressed. So this shows that if button 2 press, if this method is called, in the blinking hour state, then the hour will increase by 1. So this transition is connected to the button 2 pressed. Now how can I do that? You can just effect. So you click on this effect is a behavior. Okay, click on this, and then it will pop up a window for you to choose a class. Of course, in here I need to choose 2 button watch class. I choose this button 2 pressed. Okay, so you don't have to give a name or anything. Just choose the effect. Is this button? Is this method is called? This method is called. And now, of course, for this one, the increment hour is also tied to the hours. So let me give hours. Okay. So this shows that this button 2 is pressed, then hour increase by 1. Increase by 1. Then go back to the state. Go back to this state. So this is the transition. Then it will see that this one become two directional. And then the next, if in the blinking hour state, if the button 1 is pressed, if button 1 pressed, the method is called, then it will change to blink minute state. And of course this state is associated with a minute integer is associated with a minute attribute. And then this event, the event is button 1 pressed. Click OK. So button 1 clicks. So similarly, you can have the increment minute, and then let me draw another one. Let me draw one with a stop blinking. Okay. So this one can also go to a state called stop blinking. Okay. And the transition is button 1 and 2 pressed. So here I choose button 1, 2 pressed. So it's stop blinking, and then this will goes to the go to the exit or final. Goes to final. Okay, go to final state. Okay, yeah. So button 1, 2 press go to, and this one also can transition to the stop blinking, and of course it's the same. If I go here, effect is behavior, I choose button 1 and 2, goes to here. And then can you tell me what attribute are associated with stop blinking? So the blinking, you can think of all hour, minutes, and a second are set. Then it's stop blinking. Okay. So this stop blinking is actually associated with all 3 attributes, which is hours, minutes, and a second. Okay. So this stop blinking is actually associated with all 3 of them. Okay, so here I didn't show you the blink second and increment minutes and increment second, and I mean they're the same as what I showed you before. Okay, so this is how you draw a sequence. I mean a state diagram. Please keep in mind that state diagram is always tied to a class. So you don't have to have a separate view for state diagram. You just choose 3 classes from here and then draw 3 state diagram out of it. Okay, I hope this video help you to finish working on your state diagram. Okay, thank you. So if you have any question, you can just email me, and then if I feel, if necessary, I can record another video for a common question you may have.